Well, hey everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Esoteric and Magical Influences for the week of the 25th of April through the 1st of May. So, Sunday through Saturday. So, I hope everybody had a good week last week. I did another Goddess Effect post. I'm having kind of some fun with that. I'm hopefully going to expand a little more on it. I'm kind of hesitant when I first start talking about something to get too elaborate, but I really I think that what we're seeing now is, with all of this conflict, I think that it's basically the return of the divine feminine, and within everyone that's struggling to get out and to understand the idea of compassion and doing things for the greater good and all of that. I think the pandemic is making us look at those kinds of issues as well. The influence of conspiracy thinking that has become so prevalent in this country, and really around the world, but it matters to me what happens here mostly. I think we have the biggest effect. We saw it on the election. We saw it throughout the last 4 or 5 years, the effect of all of this. And I think that sometimes things like this happen when a sea change is happening, and we sort of get into a place where we're trying to work things out. And so there's a lot of either orness about things, a lot of us versus them, not understanding that everyone here is the other side of self. And so to think that, there is a them and an us is an illusion. There's only a we, right? So, but we're here incarnated into form to explore some of that, the polarity, the gender disparities, the isms of life, in other words, the effect of the ego on our perceptions. Well, are we going to remember, in fact, we're a soul inhabiting these bodies and that we're spirit and that that's really what's driving the ship? Or are we going to allow ego to take the reins? And I think that's the real polarity, spirit versus ego, and who wins, right? So I think that, that's where we are right now. And that's what we're seeing play out. And it's because we've had such a strong emphasis on patriarchy. I know that we hear that word a lot. It kind of sounds cliche, but it isn't. It really describes how the power of one gender, of the male gender, managed to take over and be the dominating force, and it's not worked out. It's made us a warring people, essentially. We war within ourselves all the time. And so that's what I think we're seeing playing out. And I know that what I do here, either with this reading or with the Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune readings we do on Monday and Thursday, and then any rune divinations I happen to put up, I really think that things are bending toward that, toward the feminine principle arising again and having us all be in a better balance, both inner and outer. So for today, on the 7 energy day, it's the 25th, we've got Ingus, which is the seed or the sudden release of potential, as our rune for the day. And we have Caput Draconis, or new beginnings, the north node of the moon, as the geomancy rune. We'll set that over there. The moon is in Libra. We're also in maiden moon. Tomorrow's the full moon. And so right now we're in maiden moon. And so I love to separate out the moon phases within the full moon. I love the maiden moon. I love the full moon, but I love the crone moon the most. That's my time. So I love that the most. The channel of wavelength is the human design channel for today, and the magical focus, the sun governs, and so the magical focus is going to be on clarity, truth, healing, courage, removing barriers, and leadership. However, from the favorability table, we know that working magic today is very bad. Now, go on to the blog if you haven't gotten this in the newsletter, if you don't have that coming in your inbox. If you do, you already have this, and you've seen what the recommendations are for magic today. Also, on the blog, it's been posted, so you can go and you can get a little bit more there than what we're going to do here. So ideas for that will be there for working magic each day. So step back if a situation is unclear or changing on Sunday, taking time to reevaluate from a broader perspective. If it's a new path you're on, there may be a variety of directions you can take, and more research may be necessary to make the best choice. With the moon in Libra, you prefer harmony and beautiful surroundings to conflict or harsh circumstances. And in the 5th house at 8 o'clock in the morning, it's when I do the charts, children play an integral role in your fundamental happiness. If decisions become challenging on Sunday, it may be that your emotional balance is off or that you're not taking care of your own needs. If so, excuse me, it may be necessary to reestablish your boundaries so that a better exchange is preserved with others. Although you might feel like stepping away from a situation on Sunday, be generous with your time and aware of opportunities that benefit the greater good. Let go of feelings of inadequacy that stimulate an ego that's easily manipulated by others so that more realistic perceptions form. I'm going to say that again. Let go of feelings. Think about how this works. All right. Think about how one flows into the other. About how inadequacy can stimulate an ego that is easily manipulated by others. Okay, you want to let go of that. Otherwise, you're going to be dealing with unrealistic perceptions. Okay, and so then on Monday, the 26th of April, we have an 8 energy for that day. Hagalaz is the rune. 8 is about leadership and material acquisitions and also having people acknowledge you for your abilities. But Hagalaz is the rune, and there you're talking the witch rune, also the Norn rune of the past. Hagalaz is destruction within a fixed framework, so some transformation today. In baby steps, though, this is Fortuna Minor, so it's fortune, but sort of progressive in nature, as opposed to like a windfall. Or coming to the conclusion and getting paid. This would be like, I've said this before about Fortuna Minor. It's like progress billings. If you're the sort of business that needs to bill along the way, those would be called progress billings. Contractors may do that, for example. That's the kind of energy of Fortuna Minor. So on Monday, the moon is full in Scorpio. And so it looks like it's going to be in Scorpio. But I'm not sure of the time of it. But Scorpio, we move from Libra into Scorpio at 9:19 a.m. And I think that it's in the evening when it goes full. So that would make it in Scorpio. Let's see, we have preservation for the human design channel, and the magical focus is very good on Monday. So that's that's good anyway for a full moon ritual. So the moon governs on Monday, which is also a good alignment. Feminine magics, healing, intuition, cycles, reincarnation, astral travel, balance, and change are some of the things that can be worked on Monday. And that since it's a very good day for working magic, then you can draw down the moon's blessings. You can bring the intentions you set on the new moon. We do that on the new moon, and we bring them to fruition on the full moon. We acknowledge some of that. We see what happened. Or we can manifest things under the light of the moon in full clarity. You see how you work with that. So on Monday, Hagalaz indicates that more reevaluation may be necessary again on Monday, not just Sunday, so that progress can be made, even if it results in baby steps. And again, that's the Fortuna Minor effect. Look to others with more experience for additional input, and then collaborate to achieve the best outcome. That's some of that 8 energy there. With the moon entering Scorpio in the morning, your penchant for drama may increase. A creative outlet may help in that regard to focus that energy into something more constructive. That said, self-confidence is also strong, and you rise easily to any opportunities that come your way. Oh, I even included that. That's right. The moon turns full at 8:31 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, so spend some time under her light and draw down her blessings on Monday. If called to a leadership position with others, you're able to provide an effective distribution of resources available to your team. You're able to manage things well, in other words, for them. Align with outside forces to improve success, but avoid being influenced by those with less experience. Remain patient and let your natural awareness and timing influence a positive outcome. See if I can drink this yet. A little bit. Still pretty hot. Anyway, Tuesday, the 27th, we have a 9 energy, so endings, completion, humanitarianism. It's a very spiritual number, really, the 9 is. Birkenau is our rune for the day, so fertility and family and healing and new beginnings. We have carcer, which is self-imprisonment or getting in the way of oneself. It can also be imprisonment by others as well. But we really get in the way of our own success, don't we? I mean, we really do. We get in the way of our relationships. We just get in the way of everything. It's the ego that, again, we talked about it when we first started here. It's the polarity between the spirit and the ego influencing our perceptions and decisions and all of that, how we see everything. That's what matters. Now, the moon is in Scorpio. We're in the crone phase. Let's see. No human design channels are active at 8 o'clock in the morning anyway, when I do the chart on Tuesday. The magical focus is we have Mars as the influence on Tuesday. So passion, manifestation, creativity, self-assertion, reducing conflict, things like that. Magics can be worked to do all that. Also, and the favorability is very good for magic on Tuesday. So it's been a difficult year, and it may feel as if your life is turned upside down by a pandemic and the unhelpful choices of others. But don't allow their disruptive impact to prevent you from choosing a more healing path. Instead, let go of outmoded perceptions so that true healing can take place. You may struggle with balancing your own needs with the needs of others, but you should know that if your own needs aren't met, you really can't be of any use to anyone else. Empaths know that quite well. Remain adaptable to changing emotions, those of others, as well as your own, and become adept at changing your strategy as needed, because you're going to have to do a little bit of that. That's some palace influence there on the moon. Set healthy boundaries and be realistic in what you can do to assist others. Desperation and compulsive behavior can lead to a win-at-all-costs approach, and it won't achieve anyone's intended outcome. So set an example for others to follow and let your values and principles lead the way on Tuesday. Now moving to Wednesday the 28th, we have a 1 energy. 8 and 2 is 10. That reduces to 1, so that's how we get that. That's called reduction in numerology. So Willow is the rune of the will, and it's our rune for the day. It's an as above, so below rune. You can see the above and below here, and then the horizontal line of the abyss. But again, are we going to let the will be influenced by spirit, or are we going to let it be influenced by ego? In here, we have Tristitia, which is sadness. Okay? It's also some grief. So are we going to awaken from that today? Sawilla is also about awakening. Are we going to do that on Wednesday? The moon is in Scorpio until Sagittarius at 8:43 in the morning. My time here on the West Coast in Oregon. And the human design channel is the beat. So it's getting into a rhythm of people. Seeing the patterns that they exhibit and understanding what they are and working with them. Magical focus on Wednesday, the favorability is very bad, so you're going to have to shore up whatever you do, or just use it as a meditative time. But you'll know what to do all of that. Let's see. If you do, though, work magic on Wednesday, Mercury governs, and communication, interactions, balance, justice, and revelation are important to do, important to work with on those days. Particularly justice. I mean, if you have to do something and it's justice oriented, then do it, Self-confidence is high on Wednesday, and your leadership may be called upon today on that day for others. That said, keep your temper in check and avoid a secretive attitude with those around you. As the moon travels into Sagittarius during the morning, that's still the Scorpio effect, maybe bleeding over a little bit. They're somewhat secretive at times. As the moon travels into Sagittarius during the morning, you may feel like setting out on an adventure. That said, if responsibility calls, hang in there, especially if others are relying upon you for guidance or leadership. Don't abandon them. Given that your relationship with coworkers is important to you, it's best not to abandon them to your own desires. You have the ability to motivate others, but it's important to do that in full clarity of their strengths as well as the current situation, because that's going to dictate a lot, isn't it? Express a level of humility that reflects a spiritual purpose and support others on their own path. Use your own higher awareness to find what works and what doesn't, and provide a framework for success to unfold. Now, Thursday the 29th, that's an 11 energy day, so that's a master number, and that's illumination, awakening, awareness, the messenger. So really, this is higher self coming in on Wednesday, or Thursday rather, and informing things. We have Thursaz, or Thor's rune, breaking through barriers and obstacles on Thursday. And what was Tristitia on Wednesday, on Thursday gives way to Laetitia, its complement, or happiness and joy. So we were able to break through whatever issues we were dealing with on Wednesday here, and on Thursday we're able to break through all of that and regain some of the joy that we were having. The moon is in Sagittarius fully on that day, on Thursday. The Human Design Channel's rhythm. And again, the magical fork. Now, toward the end of the month, you're going to see most of the days at the end of the month, not every one of them, are considered very bad for magic. So this is the 29th, so it's considered very bad for magic. Again, use your best judgment there. But if you are, this is a Jupiter governing day, and so it's going to govern. So Jupiter's going to govern that experience, and it's very expansive. So social justice, healing, abundance, income, growth, achieving goals and desires. If there's something that comes up that needs to be dealt with, then do it. So on this Master number 11 day, you're going to break through challenges and obstacles and allow spirit to inform your choices and experiences. Wednesday's experience or influence of Tristitia on your temper softens today with its complement Laetitia, reflecting a more positive and joyful attitude. Intuition is strong, as is your imagination on Thursday. Experience is your best teacher on Thursday, and if you use that awareness to know when to allow your emotions to influence your decisions and when to look for a better strategy. You value close relationships that are built on reciprocity and enjoy the give and take they provide. You feel in the flow with others on Thursday and find it easy to wait for the right moment to act. Avoid any self-imposed irrational behavior and perceptions that interfere with progress. But if an individual approach works better than one that is shared, then take time to reevaluate your strategy and take the best path available. Now, Friday, the 30th of April, last day of the month, we have a 3 energy for the day. So some mind, body, spirit balance, triplicities are felt. Past, present, and future. You might be mindful of something like that today on Friday, the 30th. The rune is Manas, or the human within society. And the geomancy rune is Fortuna Major, so greater fortune. And realistically, Manas is our greater fortune. So is Ewaz. That looks similar to it, just doesn't have the X on the center. It's more of an M. And what we're talking about there is binding toward mutual end. Understanding that, again, that we're not an us versus them, that in fact we are a soul group, a collective group of souls that has incarnated here together to explore all of this stuff that we're supposed to be looking at, and what we're doing here is a collective experience. And so Manas is bringing that out. And with Fortuna Major, what that's basically saying is that knowing that is our greatest fortune of all. We're in Sagittarius with the moon until Capricorn at 9:16 in the morning. And the Human Design Channel for Friday's determination. Again, working magic on the 30th is very bad, but we have Venus as its governance. And so if you do, you're going to focus on compassion, love, harmony, partnership issues, attracting a partner, female sexuality, fertility, healing, friendship, that kind of stuff. Harmony kinds of things might be the key word on the 30th there on Friday. So be mindful of who you are in relationship to others today, and know that, or today, Friday, and know that alignment will bring you great reward. In addition, a focus on details will leave you in a better place than if you let things go and possibly miss something important. As the moon shifts into Capricorn, you prefer a more structured or risk-averse approach or experience. Should conflict arise, however, remain as compassionate as possible to avoid any argument with others. Walk it off or find another activity that channels your aggression if that happens. Sometimes you just don't want people bothering you, and so if someone does, you're like, and you're ready to go. Like, what do you want? So it might be something like that. So if you do, just don't let that happen. Just, keep your own counsel, and then, get up and maybe walk a little bit. You'll work some of that out. You'll clear your head a little bit, your heart maybe. In fact, with the sun, moon, and Uranus at the same gate in line, the Hermit from Friday's Human Design chart, taking time on your own on Friday may be your best option, especially if you're still accepting the new path you're on. Because, things can be a little in flux. You're not really that focused yet. You don't really know what you're doing yet. And so you don't need the distractions, right? Use this time to increase your awareness and appreciate how the past influenced the present. I have to tell you, I had written the first 2 paragraphs, right? And then I do that with all of them. And then I wait for the human design stuff, because I have this whole spreadsheet, right, for the whole week. And I'm looking at each column for each day and putting it all together. And I saw that the Hermit, which is a particular gate and line, or I Ching hexagram and line, called the Hermit, same one, both in the sun was resting there, so was the moon, and so was Uranus. So I thought, oh boy. So realistically, with the moon in Capricorn, we're really going to be risk averse to even probably talking to anybody on Friday. So I thought that was kind of funny. When I saw that, I thought, oh boy, what's Friday really going to be like? So anyway, we move on Saturday to the 1st of May. And 4 days after that is my wedding anniversary. We'll be married 42 years on the 5th. And we reach our 3-week point after our 2nd dose. So yay. Anyway, it's a 1 energy. So new beginnings on Saturday. The rune is Rado, or rhythmic motion, integration. Think rider and horse. Think that type of relationship. This is a type of integration with others that really Manas is talking about. I mean, if you want to get down to it. Acquisitio, or gain, is which we obviously gain when we can move in harmony with other people, right? The moon's in Capricorn. The human design channel is concentration or focus. And the favorability, finally, for working magic is excellent. And the magical focus is, of course, it would be on a binding or curse day, right? On Saturday. Saturn is governing, so everything slows down. Restriction, bindings, summonings, curses, harvest, purification, though, as well. So if you want to do something positive, do some purification, do some protection work or something. But anyway, there's some other stuff on there if you look on the blog, or get this in your newsletter in your inbox. You'll see other things there you can do, but allow new perceptions to influence your relationships with others on Saturday, offering support and assistance wherever you can. But avoid excessive behavior, however, that can strain interactions and interfere with progress. Not everybody can deal with excessive behavior, okay? They just can't. It's just too much, right? Your past life experience gives you a level of understanding that others may not have, and given your unique perspective, you're often called upon to offer compassion and healing to those in need. It's that relationship with pain that you've developed over time when you were a child. Reflect on the circumstances in question and then offer the best strategy possible. Remain focused and watch for patterns that signal manipulation by outside influences. Avoid rationalizing mistakes and being easily led by propaganda that causes harm to both self and others. Realize that a go-it-alone attitude may not serve you overall. So while individuality and authenticity are often best, a shared path may bring more joy in the long run. So I guess that's it. Thanks so much for stopping by here. If you haven't clicked subscribe here, I'd love you to do that. Check out the blog. There's links to everything below the video, but check out the blog over at imsteppingaside.com. And again, the esoteric and magical influences are up there. You can get a little more information than what you get here. And this is going to get posted over on Patreon. If you are not a member over there, it costs $1 to join my page a month, $12 a year. You don't have to join every month. You can do 1 month and maybe not the next if that's what you want to do. If you forget, that's no big deal. You get to read everything. Everything's unlocked to you when you join, even if it's just for a month. So it's $1 to do that. There's also a tip teacup over. It's at one of those PayPal.me things. Over on the side panel of the blog, you'll see a teacup. You click there, and you can, if you want to donate to support the blog, you can do that as well. I'm very grateful for those who have done that. I appreciate that. And let's see. Oh, check out the writings over on Medium. I do a daily astrology Monday through Friday there, and I tend to cross-post stuff from the blog over there as well. So that's stuff you can see there too. But I guess that's it. Come back tomorrow for Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune, and have a wonderful week. And be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.